3, 2. Welcome to another exciting episode of Master or Not with our wonderful heroes, Wilda, the Water Being.
Can we get pizza? I'm hungry.
Randy, the Matter Manipulator.
You know, pizza sounds kind of good.
Dahlia, the Living Dead Girl.
I was a teenage zombie. Ask me anything.
Spencer, the Super Cat.
Hey guys, check out my new friend. His name is Robert Downey Jr.
Jace, the Technomancer.
The good news is that once we finish killing Himmel, he won't have very far to go.
Rowan, the Immortal Glass.
You know, I could use a co-pilot.
When we last left our heroes, they had just finished destroying the last facility that was producing the mononoggles, tackling the town of Lincoln as they were approaching to the other side. In the wake of it, they activated the self-destruct system, causing it to erupt while maintaining and keeping bound Camilla and Luce Campbell. Carmilla.
I mean, Luce is a torso in the hands of the cops. He's pretty cool.
At the current moment, they redress their Humvee and then speak with their newfound friend about joining them on their short trek over to Hell, Michigan, along with noting that they have a similar goal in mind. Screw Himmel at all costs.
A terrible thought has occurred to me, and I apologize to everyone in chat, as well as everyone here in the call. By God, Luce Campbell is so incredibly fucked. It is 2002. He has committed a terrorist attack, and he is a paraplegic at this point.
Speaking of, that actually does come to mind to attend to a couple of loose ends. As you bring the Camilla over to your van, there does seem to be some strange occurrence happening to her. She starts convulsing and writhing in her cups, almost involuntarily. Spencer, you can hear a high-pitched whining coming from deep within her, as well as sense that this person is now entirely in absolute pain. I'm not going to do the whole screaming bit because reasons. As Rowan, you get an immediate phone call. This is coming from one of the chiefs of medical operations. That's a thing, right?
Yeah, chief medical officer.
Thank you. One of the chief medical officers over at the hospital with a warning to answer the phone.
Interesting that they... Oh, yeah, the director must have forwarded the call. Go ahead and click the button and put it up to my ear.
Miss Rowan, I hope everything is going well. Wanted to keep you in the know. We have started cutting off all of Mr. Himmel's influence here at the hospital. But once we started doing that, a strange occurrence happened with the one patient, that mysterious surgeon that came in and started healing others. So with a touch happened. Bleh, I can speak. This is panic, Mrs. Rowan. This is just panic occurring because the man in question is currently convulsing to the point where his skin is melting off the bone, and there seems to be a small emission of a timer in there. I don't know how long it's going to, and then it stops there. As off in the distance behind you is a large, bright blast of explosion from the tallest building, the hospital. And now convulsing amongst in your arms. Who was the last person holding on to Carmilla again? Was it still Spencer?
I
So once more, Spencer, in your arms with Carmela as you're restraining her, she's convulsing heavily. Her skin growing hot. A loud whirring to you can be heard coming from deep within her bones.
Rowan is going to Spencer, her, orbit now. Get away from her.
Spencer's gonna give a salute. And DM, where are we in? Like, are we near forest right now, or are we near a heavily populated area?
You are currently at the edge of Lincoln, which not having seen the current lay state of Lincoln, Nebraska for 2002, I want to imagine that it's kind of foresty with just a long road heading towards the next town. So we're gonna say that for a little foresty with not many people seeing you as you guys are parked up the side of the road.
DM,
Yes.
is there the sense of technology inside this woman?
Now that she's close and in range, yes, you can actually hear it, but it is already in overdrive. The heat has the current concoctions that seem to be could have caused that explosion are already mixing within her, and you can feel the machines that would normally were those already active had already been activated 2 minutes ago while you guys were bringing her over to address.
Jeez, do we work together to get it out?
Possibly. Transient, I may need you to be ready to turn this into something that's not volatile. DM, I would like to use animate machines on whatever is inside of her and physically have it split apart from itself so that it creates enough room for Transient to do his thing.
And I would turn into water and go up her nose to get out the chemicals.
Okay, so Kage, I'm going to need a toughness check followed by let me double check your thing because I want to say it would be a dexterity check in order to grab the chemicals that are currently mixing and preparing to erupt as you're being, but you will get +5 bonus as the bones are all technically cybernetic, and after being given the call to leave the body.
Listen, 2 of us have healing powers. We can fix it.
You feel that several sections of the skeletal system are kind of breaking up, giving you a little bit more leeway into the passages that would normally be hard because you would have to go through the capillaries. So once more, go ahead and give me those 2 checks. The toughness is mostly to deal with the unique pressure of going into a body.
And then it was dexterity?
Lungs. Yes.
As a note, she can actually enter the body as she wants.
Shit.
Christ!
I put an extra 1 in there, but I think we should count it.
Burn a Betty, damn it. Burn a Betty for that one. I'll keep it.
I'll burn a Betty.
It's a little weird struggle as you start going in, with the bones starting to break apart and becoming separate plates of autonomous machinery. You're able to go into the capillaries and start going down, where you feel the sensation of the chemicals mixing more closer to the chest region or around the rib cage, and by sheer defiance, with your teeth, feeling as though you're biting it with your teeth, you manage to start dragging this current mixing concoction through yourself and through her body as you start exiting out of her with the chemicals in tow. That being said, you now have a live mixture of chemicals getting ready to erupt. What do you do?
I need a cleansing here.
Yeah, give me 1
Please.
sec.
Okay.
That's Mr. Alchemist. Give me that alchemy roll. As I gotta make a separate roll for this person.
I also imagine that there's
That.
glowing pieces like right around Wilda's leg in the water.
As like part of the
Part of the
as
tattoo,
part
yeah.
of us. Okay, yeah. Especially since you're as you come out, you're like you have a snoot that's elongated with the okay.
Okay.
So it's, at first it was a game of like here, let me see it, here, let me see it, here, let me see it, as you're like trying to like put it in a position you think is better, but he's like going for the position on the side of you, and then he picks you, grabs you by your cheek as you're fully out, and like makes you look at him with those deep longing eyes. Tranty, do you want to take it from here?
I'm blushing at this point. Just want you to know.
That shouldn't take too long. Taps two of his fingers together, gently rubs rubs her face, and all the chemicals just convert into pure water.
Well, if you had any bruises, go ahead and activate your regeneration.
I did not.
Oh,
Well, go ahead.
I said no.
But thankfully, the crisis is averted. That said, the current sluggish form of a almost gelatin form of Carmilla now crumples in Spencer's arms as a legion of like spider plates come out from like various wound areas carefully in order to not destroy the rest of the hole as instructed by Jace. They come out and like somewhat give an offhanded salute as best as they can with like little tendrils.
I will have the plates go off to the sides, and like that one guy in Persona 3, Jace puts 2 fingers to his head, activates the thing, and switches to the other guy.
Make sure to collect
Roll it.
some of those. We might be able to use it.
Rowan, anyone else who is interested in picking up a couple of the spider plates, by all means, give a dexterity roll. It's not too hard. It's not too hard to grab them. Actually, whoever has a passive 12 doesn't have to roll.
I physically can't because I'm not in the vehicle.
Passive 12 and what?
Motorcycle.
You're currently on the motorcycle, right?
And Dahlia.
Dahlia does have a free hand while on the motorcycle. That free hand can also follow along the spider plates a bit farther than everyone else's hands.
Okay.
Save for those who can stretch.
Oh, Dahlia hasn't been invited to the motorcycle yet. That was pending. I didn't get a chance to do that yet. Dahlia's still in the vehicle.
Okay, then yes, Dahlia can grab stuff. Her dexterity, she's probably at a 9 right now. So was it sleight of hand, or what does she need to do?
Actually, yeah, sleight of hand could also work. Sleight of hand or a dexterity. That is, if you don't beat a DC 12 passively.
Okay. Yeah, sleight of hand. She's got a +9 too. So let's roll that. D20 plus 9. 17.
Yeah, that'll do. As you start grabbing a couple of the more handleable pieces, not the small bone, like tiny fragments, you happen to pick one up that looks kind of like a tibia. Mostly because it was originally a tibia. A tibia-shaped spider plate.
Sophia, what are you doing? Come on.
Aww. Oh, that was kind of the recording because I heard that.
That was me. That was Sophia. She heard as she leaped into my lap.
Everyone, we'll Sophia. Hello.
And now she's gone again.
Goodbye.
For flavor purposes, real quick, DM, as they're gathering up spider bones, Jace switched to the other guy and automatically went to go do nano healing, but mechanically, the way he's applying the nanobots is just grabbing her by the face with his mechanical arm.
Ew. All right, so what was your? Go ahead and give me that regeneration roll, or what do I need to roll?
It's a healing roll. Jace needs to roll a d20 plus his healing rank. And depending on how many degrees above 10 that he gets, depends on how much is fixed. Starting with the worst condition.
Dirty 20.
All right, so that does stabilize her condition for the most part. She is still kind of like a wet glove in a way, as the bones mostly have been degenerated and turned full robotic, as far as you can tell. But she's alive. She's breathing. And oh boy, is it going to be an awkward moment when she returns to awareness.
And there's just a metal hand over her face.
It does worry you that with all the bone structures destroyed, that there's no remnants of calcium deposit or bone structure to start replicating with your nanocyte, with stem cells generated by your nanite in order to
What
help return a bone structure.
Yeah,
But
that
she's
would
in
I
be
know
a
somebody.
really-
I know somebody who can turn one thing into another thing.
Yeah, that would be a real big problem if we weren't sitting next to an alchemist DM.
Except for one problem with that is the stem cells themselves have all the genetic information for bones.
All that's left are mitochondrial DNA, so you only get half of them.
That and hey, Transient, remind me, are you currently doing well enough to not worry about feeling hungry, or is it about that time?
I think Dahlia had raw burger before. No, wait. We mentioned her eating it when she got to the car. And
Yes, Dahlia. I was talking to Transient. Give
Oh,
credit
sorry.
to the undead girl.
I'm just here hungry, and I assume you're talking to Dahlia.
Transient's been fed throughout the journey so far, so.
that
how
was
are
Wilda's one thing that she could contribute.
Well, how are you feeling, having been somewhat drained here and there?
I can't turn back.
As everyone does notice that she hasn't returned back to being her normal self, quote unquote, at the current moment. Rowan, it's at this point when you do look over while sitting on your bike, trying to assess how everyone is, that the youngest, not the youngest, but one of the more quiet of the group has literally fallen apart to become water. And while it was amazing seeing her extract the chemicals and save everyone, watching them in tandem, and does give you iotas of ideas to start to how to utilize these and build these, make proper relationship for this life in a sense. It does become a bit worrisome that she has not turned back. It almost hits you back as when you first had your time. As we flicker back over 1,000 years ago, back over the lands of Danes, as you coming out from the witch's fire, still barely holding form, crawling through semi translucent up to one of your, what was it, brother? Did we agree that you came up to? It was one of your younger sisters that you came up to, who fled in fear towards the rest of your family, claiming you are a witch.
Yep. Rowan is going to put the kickstand down, climb off, move over to be more meshed with the vehicle. Look to transient. Let me help.
If we've got a chance for it.
Hands
Yeah.
will turn into will basically merge together and form a large shape-filled cup and scoop up all of Dahlia.
Well,
Not Della. Wilda.
Or Wilda, sorry. All of Wilda. Then Rowan will expand slightly in size, and a human-shaped cavity in her own body, basically a living container for Dahlia to resume human shape.
Wilda.
Wilda, sorry.
Dahlia's
Dahlia's
the
not that
zombie.
girl.
Wilda's the puddle. Wilda's
Yes.
wet. Wait,
You-
no. Hang on.
I appreciate your compulsion to put the zombie in an Iron Maiden.
Hey!
Glass Maiden.
But yes, essentially will completely basically become a mold for human shape in an attempt to, and then very calmly, remember what it feels like.
So
Don't
Wilda,
think about it consciously as a shape. Think about it instinctively, what you are shaped like.
so Wilda, this is definitely a new experience. Someone who you barely met maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes ago in this car ride. It after having your transmission, the bracelet that was helping you keep your form break down or at least stop working for some reason, is now holding you up in what seems to be see-through liquid material, almost glass, as you feel yourself trying to like find a porous way to go through, but find no pores. As you uh, do find yourself getting encapsulated, though, go ahead and give me a will check, and then feel free to respond before it's fully completed. There's a reason for this, Rowan.
That's fine. You do you.
Keep
But-
looking for the web page when it's a program. Oh, yeah, sorry. I put a C.
Meanwhile, Jules looks over to Spencer. Can you find me a bunch of scrap metal? I want to see if I can build an endoskeletal framework for the nanites to bind the new bones into.
It's not that I don't know what shape I look like. If it won't turn off.
I know. It's been a while, but I've been through this before. If you have a firm mental grasp on the shape, then remember the sensation of feel.
I just my powers, this was gonna happen with them. I just didn't expect it this soon.
Well,
All right, kids, it's about time. Oh my! What is?
I'd like to point he's still in the vehicle. He has not moved and has not gotten out of shock.
So who's looking and
Alright.
talking to us, DM?
I would have been Darren, but Darren is still currently in shock. I could try to squeeze in Tom Relic.
I mean, Tom Rillick should focus on the road.
You guys are technically parked on the side of the road while you're trying to assess the current situation.
Fair enough. Well, I assume that we already have the metal we need, so I'm going to go back on mute.
Wait, what?
Look at the cul-de-sac lounge for transient.
Well, at a minimum, I can provide you safety while in this form.
A lot more durable in this form. Just, I don't like it.
Sammy,
Mm.
do you want me to go too?
Fair enough. But until you get a means in which to become whole again, I could work as a container.
I don't usually leak everywhere, so I'll be fine.
Okay.
It's just he doesn't know about our powers.
Who's
they
he?
As
I-
they indicate towards the Humvee.
Tom Relic doesn't know. I didn't think it was a good idea to bring him, but we did.
It definitely seems to be a poor choice in hindsight.
Yeah.
Well, I could have someone come pick him up, bring him somewhere safe.
I don't know if that's what the others want to do. I don't know.
Rowan will say that part, audibly where everyone can hear.
Everyone but the ones inside the soundproof Humvee, custom
The
built
door's
and
open.
made. Hit with another correction. God damn.
Yeah,
It's
we
kind of our
requested-
specialty.
So which door is open? Is it the passenger or is
Rear
it
passenger.
the rear passenger? All right. So
Well. Yeah, rear passenger.
it's somewhat audible, but he still doesn't see. Relic does go, I can't exactly leave. I'm on the paperwork for this transport. What are y'all doing out there? We should be getting ready to get back on the road.
We're taking a bathroom break. Can you give us a minute? Jeez, pervert.
All right, sorry. What are you saying to my daughter? No! You're given a little bit more time at the current moment. Will that you are able to somewhat
Mm-hmm.
manipulate the glass as you move around in the humanoid S silhouette crafted by Rowan. Does feel a bit weird, and there's like little tiny tinks as you tap your fingers. Does feel weird feeling this more filled up on top, though. Just saying.
I don't need a container.
He'll open up and let her out.
You're released from the container. The strain and feel of fear that you were having while being inside and contained and almost restrained does ebb away as the fresh air hits your watery form again.
And you see her standing there. You don't actually. Okay, Throat, do you want to work?
Yeah.
You don't actually see her legs. It's just kind of more like a dress at the bottom, but she's humanoidish in shape. It's just there are some wolf features.
What's
So are you
there?
Thank you.
Are you still transparent in your water form, or?
Yes, I'm still transparent.
But yes, as you look at the Wilda in her standing form, there is a feminine wolf-like watery visage in front of you, and it does take you back from when you were looking at your own translucent glimmering through the fire that shone through you against the brick wall from afar when you first had the revelation of who you are, Rowan. And so it does give you the fee to allow her to feel her form out like you have.
Mentally noted.
These I had underneath my hat. As she kind of flicks the water ears.
DM, quick question.
Yes, possible answer.
Is my item ready to be delivered? I'm talking about the vehicular one.
Okay. Unfortunately, there is a response coming from your other vehicle team out in the other side, saying other side of Lincoln, saying that the current transportation have all been janked up thanks to the large bat halfman, and we aren't able to transport it on this side. However, we do have ties over onto the next closest town for you. If you wouldn't mind heading over towards there for the pickup. Next closest town being labeled Omaha.
Get it there. All right. Well, we've done enough damage here. We ready to move on?
Yep.
Yeah, I
Looking
guess.
at the and Spencer and Jules are gone.
Yep, as Dahlia, while you have been just vibing, watching the interaction between Rowan and Wilda, you turn back to double check with the homies, and the homies are not there at the moment. In fact, they're not even there with Carmilla. They seem to have gone deeper into the forest. As flashing lights
Well,
occur. Hold on.
she's gonna pull out her cell phone and send a text. Are you okay? And she's going to look apologetically at Rowan and say, "Sorry, it's kind of like herding cats."
Jules will shoot a response text. So I can treat those injured in the explosion. I'll be back. Transient got Camilla.
So there's one with the bread, and the bread with it, it's just a little bit. So, and the whole lot. So if you want the big of
I
bread,
can hear someone talking about bread.
Same.
Sorry.
I was confused. I thought it was like, why does it sound like Dahlia's talking from the other side of a hallway?
I'm not. I wasn't saying anything. So
I guess I'll
Dahlia
get
said,
into the
"Sorry, it's like
car.
herding cats" to Rowan, and sort of shrugs.
All right, what was that, Wilda?
I'll get into the Humvee. Trying to stay out of
As
Riddle's, or not Riddle's, Relic's eyesight.
but or you know some people
like
can't.
slink in, just like
I know that might be good on
how does one describe the way gelatin like shimmies
Ooze?
and shimmers?
Bloops.
Ooze.
I
So
believe
Ooh, or
some-
gloops. Yeah, gloops.
Quick note for you, Mayor. Camilla's not getting out.
Really excited about this.
I believe it. I had already expected to try to, like I said, loose ends were about to happen, and then loose end did not get happened.
Which is good because we can interrogate her for information. Hey,
Would you so mind?
hey, iZombie.
Dahlia, but
Whoa,
close
whoa,
enough.
whoa. I need a time frame check. iZombie and
Oh, no,
202.
no. But the iPod exists, therefore it was just a turn of phrase.
I understood. As a lover of iPods, yes.
You think you can shoot that rifle from the back of a motorcycle?
And she says, "Oh hell yeah."
Makes the head motion.
She like full on prances. You realize you have not actually seen her this happy before. So, how do I? Do I just like sit on it like a bike?
Yeah, basically.
Cool.
Mhm.
Maybe
Uh,
we're wrong.
as you sit on her bike and reposition yourself, having the rifle prepped and ready, you're getting this in your heart about getting to use it as soon as possible. Does slow down as you remember. Oh yeah, most of the other have vampires are dead. When am I going to use this? But then you also remember that there's been werewolves at Utah and have vampires here in Nebraska. Who
The
knows
latest
what awaiting you?
or not Monday. I'm at Sunday.
Does she have a helmet?
Blink twice. Do you need a helmet?
I don't know. I've never gotten like head trauma before.
I think you guys ate it all.
I've come back from everything else though.
We'll have to look into one, just in case.
Wait, I know a guy. Transient? She does a horrific approximation of puppy dog eyes.
Yeah, you watch him carrying out a pure black box, taller than his head right now.
Elliot, the box is definitely reminiscent of the things he had to make around the soldiers back in the underground military base.
You okay?
It,
Oh, not you.
brain tripped, can't think. Now stuck on cat mode. Damn it.
He black boxed them like he did at the base.
Yes. Yes, he did.
Transient, before we head out, since we have to wait anyway, could I ask a favor?
Sure. What you need?
Maybe a motorcycle helmet? And she does that thing where she like taps her pointer fingers together, looking all hopeful.
Give me a minute. Proceeds to look around the base of a tree. Yeah, this should be about the right size. Proceeds to convert it into a perfect motorcycle helmet.
Dahlia eagerly puts it on and bounces back over to Rowan. Okay, ready to shoot things. I mean, ride motors. Motor. Yes.
Just what this scene was missing. Stammering problems, representations of those who have speech impediments. as we flicker back for a moment over to Jules and Spencer, who have been diligently pulling a quick run back over to the hospital at pure breakneck speeds, only the likes of which only Jules and Spencer can endure, and committing to full how does one put this? Full restructure of the hospital via saving the patients at breakneck speed. At least that's what I'm reading, right?
Correct. Jules is on damage control, physically healing them, and if any of their spirits are slipping away, Spencer is shoving them back in their bodies.
The image of an old man looking up to a very like loose held circular pearly gate. Ah, finally get to see my grandkids. Not today, Grandpa.
Get back in the crippled old body.
He comes back. No, I didn't want to come back. Oh, my back's better now.
I can dance. It just starts busting a move right now.
I
He's
can
more.
make one quick roll as the sight of a cat man slam dunking just randomly in the air towards people's chests is just as a visual sight to behold. And just I have to see if any one of them would be willing enough to take a picture of the event. As with each slap, somebody's like coming back, barely breathing. You should perform CPR. I can do better. I'll grab a soul. Cool. Leaps into the air, high into the air. Wow, he's really high. He's still going high. He's still climbing. Oh god, he's coming down. He's coming down so fast. Smack.
I like the idea that there's like two people where he does that, and it's like that's cruel to do. They're like missing most of their organs, most of their limbs are destroyed. There's no way to heal them now. And then with the two natural 20s, Jules fully reconstructs them before moving on to the next patient.
It's like it happens within the dust as a couple of seconds the dust settles as someone goes, "No, you can't do it. We're in the middle of an organ retrieval. He was already pronounced dead 2 minutes ago. You can't." I'm alive. I'm alive. I saw the other side for a second. Oh god. Thank you, Catman. Thank you so much.
That is now his official code name is Catman.
Man, cat. No, cat, man.
Would 10 overall checks be sufficient for the hospital with, I assume, the natural 20s covering the super criticals?
Yes, as while you're doing that, I'm gonna catch up on some of these hashtags. Hashtag contained vampire box. Hashtag black box ace.
Oh, you
Hashtag-
got more before that.
Wait, how many?
Oh yeah, you gotta go back to that line from last time.
Whoa, fuck. Right. Let me backtrack to the beginning.
Starting with hashtag texting while driving.
Wait, what?
That's where it's got the exclamation point to let you know this is where you start.
Right. Hashtag texting while driving. Hashtag texting while writing. Hashtag phrasing. Hashtag no villain monologues. Hashtag mag dumping vampires. Hashtag Saturday morning cartoons of the 90s and early hundreds, or truly magical. Hashtag paid-per vampire. Hashtag Dahlia was raised to shoot them before they could brainwash her. Hashtag you goddamn right. Hashtag Spencer respects monologues and boss transformations. Hashtag Spencer respects the efforts to mimic even a fraction of his power. Hashtag we're not in Dragon Ball Z anymore. Hashtag DBZ is a Saturday morning cartoon too. Hashtag Daddy's precious little angel. Hashtag that is everyone. That's it. Everyone dies. Hashtag bunk. Hashtag no talking at the Humvee. Hashtag Darren describing the use of a 50 cal on vampires. Hashtag better than cocaine. Hashtag better than the government calling cocaine a harmful drug and a psyops to prevent us from being able to see the interdimensional Bigfoot.
He's right.
Hashtag vampire flails at Humvee. Oh god. Hashtag police brutality in our favor. Hashtag we call this a difficulty tweak. Hashtag fuck Himmel. Hashtag fuck Nazis. Hashtag fuck mothering vampire. Hashtag do not fuck Nazis please. Hashtag America Zero. Hashtag bitches love cannons. Hashtag okay punch Nazis. Hashtag Microsoft, Disney, Coke, Google is the economy. Hashtag waiting for the truth. Hashtag contained vampire box. Hashtag black box ace. Hashtag jelly. What my mouth is feeling like. Hashtag Dahlia's experiencing love. Oh my. Hashtag Rowan has a gunner. Hashtag no one is immune to hot biker girls. Hashtag no one. Hashtag break in hospital. There is no hashtag with this one. It's just bike with a turret.
It wouldn't. It kept correcting it to box text, bike with a turret. So I finally left out the hashtag.
Feels nice. So how do those rolls come out, dude? Let me double check. And oh my. All right, Transit, what were you rolling again? Remind me, please, before I lost my mind.
That was creating Dahlia's helmet. That was no problem.
Yes, no problem at all. Also, it gave it. Would you say you gave it like those like punk Liberty spikes?
And nope, because that would have interfered with her shooting.
Ah, fair point. Standard bike helmet.
Rowan will add a pair of cat ears.
Like Celty.
Wait, on
I
yourself
saw
or
a
on her helmet?
motorcycle with cat ears yesterday, so
Hashtag safety is key. So once more, Legend, you, Jace, you do make the rolls for the hospital. Describe them to me one more time, please, for my sake. Jules, Jules, Jules.
Yes, they were all healing checks with a +10, and my results were, for all 10, 14, 14, 21, 27, 27, 2 natural 20s for 30-30. The first one was assisted by Spencer. 26, 13, 18.
Literally everybody but the 13 is at full health. 13 is stable. That's literally the one that's still going through anesthesia. That was the one that that you heard the scream. Wait, no, you can't help. You can't save him. We were just stealing, or we're just taking his organs not too long ago. He's been dead for 2 minutes. So he's
Now
barely.
all the organs are back. He's currently unconscious. It'll take a few weeks to recover, but by God, he'll live.
He'll live. Crippling cancer be damned.
And as soon. Oh, well, that's where all the extra matter to rebuild the limbs came from, actually.
Oh Lord.
But as soon as everyone at the hospital is stable, Jules would probably go to wherever the hospital power supply is, switch back to Jace, have Jace reanimate the power supply to function, and then he would probably switch back and ask Spencer to take him back to base so he can work on that stuff before saying go catch up with the others.
Okay.
My sister.
So you rejoin the group then, right?
Spencer does. Spencer's dropping me off back at home base so I can work on that tech everyone wanted for the moment. He can come get me when he needs to.
Fair enough. I'm gonna need at least as many tech checks as it was for how many creations you were making.
Let me go find my list, but you can cut back to the others for the time being.
Meanwhile, as everyone is resettling back into the Humvee and trying to help Wilda not be seen by Relic as she is still in her watery form, Spencer, you do pop in at the side of the Humvee as everyone is preparing. You do see Dahlia in the back of the bike with your new friend Rowan. Cat ears on both of them in their helmets, right? Right? Wrong? Right? Cat ears?
Rowan doesn't have a helmet.
One has cat ears, one has cat ears on their helmet.
Back.
What does Spencer do?
seeing that they have cat ears on their helmet, correct?
What is the root?
One of them does.
Dahlia has a motorcycle helmet that has cat ears. Rowan still has no helmet and is unchanged.
All right, thank you for the correction there.
I'm just gonna see this. He's not gonna think anything of it. Let's see here. So are we ready to go or?
About I just been waiting on you guys. Darren is almost done having his tremors. He's actually been helping shake up some of these ice blocks in the water. It's been helpful. Yeah, funny guy you are. That said, has everyone buckled up? I can't see Wilda.
She's taking a nap. She's fine.
I'm back in my normal form. What emotions do I see?
You see the sense of like your life depends on it coming from Transient, who eyeballs you as he stares down at a watery Wilda who is how would I best describe Wilda's feeling as she's trying to be sneaky?
Scared, ashamed that it's working, or that she can't turn back.
And Transient, do correct me where I'm wrong, please, by all means. Darren is feeling just still in Cloud9, still feeling pretty happy with his personal results. And you do get a sense of worry from Tom Relic, slightly hampered by the slightly irksome curiosity that perks up every so often. Like he's wondering if everything is okay, and is curious about what everyone is just like hiding behind him. If everything's okay, then we should be able to go. Yet nobody is properly buckled in yet.
Let's see here. What is Dahlia feeling?
Dahlia has been emitting every so often has been emitting a slight pink aura whenever looking towards Rowan, especially after being handed a gun and a nice place to sit in the back of the motorcycle. You can't tell if it's like that same happy feeling when like her dad is feeling that Cloud9 of being able to hold a gun. But she definitely does. It definitely does get a bit redder as she looks around and does look over towards the forward of the street. Just so happens to be Rowan like standing right there, or sitting right there in front of her.
And there's the burnt orange of suspicion pointing at Tom Relic from Transient.
Thank you.
Let's see. I almost forgot something rather important. Oh wait, no, I didn't forget that. Never mind.
What?
Nah, I thought I had Spencer clones out, but I don't.
You pulled them in.
And this is early 2000s. The buckle up to stay safe is not a thing yet. It won't be a thing for another 4 years.
Yeah, but
that's even funnier. That's even funnier as he's suggesting that. Especially since this is technically yours and Jace's vehicle that you've helped cobble together in expert alchemic and technological fashion. So
I just provided materials. I don't know what you're talking about. This is Jace's baby down to the core. I just provide materials.
Baby.
No, I gotta save that comment. No, that's not a comment for a Saturday morning cartoon.
Baby.
Did it work?
Sorry, bringing up. Yes, we'll say yes. Yes, it did kind of work. Kind of work.
Does that mean I get to open the perfect Dahlia sheet?
Not yet. Not until the next next conflict. Besides, get add more
Ooh.
points to that. As we begin to mosey on, once everyone is technically inside the vehicle and everyone is ready, Tom Relic does start up the Humvee, giving their new side ally Rowan the okay and the thumbs up to join us. After being told like, yeah, we have a new friend. They're coming with us. Don't ask questions. Right? That's what you all explain, right? This isn't. You didn't just leave him in the question of like, why is there a person on a motorcycle? Like, why is Dahlia sitting on the back of her? Darren, are you okay with this? Looks over. Cool woman. Hot bike. His daughter's carrying a gun. She's living the American dream. God bless America.
Damn
Pretty
right.
teenagers are ignoring the driver.
Teenagers are going.
I provided a summary of the results for you, DM.
Hmm. Interesting.
Did we know about stem cells in 2001, 2002?
They were a thing because they'd used old stem cells from a sheep at that point to clone one of the sheep.
Oh, did they have Dolly the sheep?
I think so.
I will look
I think
that
that
up
was
real
the
quick.
I think that was a 99 or 2000 thing because I remember it being a big old deal for the Catholic Church.
Dolly, 5th of July, 1996 to 14th of February, 2003.
Stem cells were discovered in 1961.
Oh, hell yeah.
Proper experimentation didn't start happening until mid 90s, all the way up until about 2010, and then we switched over.
1991, 1998.
So it can totally pass Ace. I
Let's see.
can open the fancy sheet.
U.S. ban on federal funding. Forgot about that. Once he brings this the item to you, once more, this will be a next session thing.
It'll be going. Everybody arriving in the next town, preparing to bunker down for the evening, and it's like, where the fuck is Jace? And Jace is just ferocious tank noises back at the base. Let me grab the GIF I sent Spencer earlier.
While you're doing that, hashtag cat helmet machine gunner, hashtag Black Lagoon much, hashtag anime goals, hashtag lie like your life depends on it, hashtag why aren't we on our way yet?
I have posted the reference in general chat.
I think you guys are technically now on your way. You've hit the road at this point, driving through. The drive for this most part is peaceful. Nighttime has hit, so aside from being careful about certain nighttime drivers and the traffic jam ahead in between, you do finally arrive at the late hour of 10 o'clock over at a hotel in Omaha. It's here at the hotel, Rowan, you're given the opportunity to send a quick text out or send a quick call out, and you're receiving a notification that your new piece of equipment will be there in 4 hours.
4 hours? You kidding me?
Wait, what time frame was that?
No. 4 hours. Rowan's getting
2 a.m.
from Jace. We know Spencer goes faster than that.
Yes, well, I don't have cat delivery for my items.
If only you had Spencer delivery. You know what?
Yeah.
Apparently.
Keyword yet.
I love.
There.
Go ahead.
No, you first. You first.
Just imagine how much money Spencer could make if he could transport things delicately at that speed.
Well, for one thing, Amazon would not be called Amazon.
I need to move from Omaha to Wichita within 3 hours. Okay. And I need you to be careful with my lifetime collection of expensive grand pianos.
God damn it! I broke another laptop. Somebody put in another order at the Spencer.
Put in another order at Amazon.
Amazoomies.
Amazon.
Amazoomies.
Logo is changed to just be similar to a cat, just with freaking speed lines behind them.
Yeah, would it be safe to say that it will take Jace until the next morning to finish making everything?
It will.
Okay. Then, whenever you guys are done sleeping, Jace will send out the text that's like, hey guys, everything's done. And then Spencer can come pick up a terminally exhausted split soul Jace.
I'm assuming I don't need to roll for that because I've been making this trip for like.
Yep. At this point, you've gone a little too comfortable making your way back home.
I know how to go home. It's that way.
And thankfully, with Jace being on your shoulders and him having an early makeshift of a GPS, he's able to guide you immediately back without need for roll.
Shoulders. It's Jules on his shoulders.
Yeah, Jules. Thank you. Sorry.
I gotta catch that every time because we canonize that his organs explode.
One of these days, you won't catch me, and then we will have to canonize an event where Jace has to heal himself.
We can't let Jace explode until I use power points to buy the clone power or whatever the fuck it is, where he can back himself up into a second body.
I love the idea where it's just like, ah, shit, I killed Jace again. All right, let's just back him up.
To go over to a random printer, just like eat, just legs first.
Okay, it's done.
It is very Jace coded for his brand of dark humor nature. For it to just be an ethical landmine that he just keeps dying and they just keep cloning him so he can keep helping the group and making things.
I love even more the idea of it being a dark joke where it's like, oh man, it's my birthday today. And Spencer's like, yeah, it is your birthday, but what do you want for your birthday? Well, I'd really like to not die on my birthday. With this group, no way.
Goodness. As you return back with Jace, the rest of the group are just waking up from enjoying their time inside the hotel, except for Rowan, who does not sleep.
Wilda
go
also
ahead,
does
Puddles.
not sleep.
Then
Yeah, I have
Would you two
immunity
like-
life support in water form.
right. I guess you two can technically role play a moment where you where it's another revelation of connection. Another person who's in liquid in form and doesn't sleep at night.
We can do that off screen so it's easier
Yeah.
Or
for time wise.
that's what the lounge is for.
Yep.
As you guys awaken, you do hear a little pitter patter at your guys' door, and that's where Spencer is holding a Jules, who doesn't seem shaken, but is carrying a lot of like boxes. All Go ahead.
He very clearly bags under his non-mechanical eye as he hands you a laser gun, and he hands like some kind of wristwatch to the water balloon. It is waterproof.
I don't think that's gonna work now.
Might as well give it a try. If it doesn't, I'll make configurations. Let me go give this to the others before I pass out.
Well, okay. I'll put the watch
Thanks,
on. It kind of just floats there. or it just goes inside of her body?
It floats for a second around where your technical arm is before it gets accepted by yourself and you feel it technically attached to your arm, but it does dissolve in front of everybody and looks like it disappeared. Just turns to water. All that effort, Jules, just to watch it turn to water immediately.
It's part of the planet. If this is working, that means it worked. Anyways, I hand a paintball gun to Transient as soon as he wakes up, and then hand Spencer the admittedly not super well made manhole cover launcher. Clearly, this was not the project he dedicated the most time to. But then he will hand like a weird chest harness thing to Dahlia that seems to have a severe piece of technology in the middle on the front and then another one on the back, and just go, not sure how well it'll work, but that should help you regenerate pretty consistently to you instead of zombie you. He gives you a thumbs up, and then he immediately passes out on Spencer's shoulders.
Spencer will carry him
shit.
to a bed.
Really?
Yeah.
She's like immediately stripping out of her clothes to try to put it on, like not even caring.
All right, who wants pancakes? Dahlia, put pants back on now.
Right, why is he making pancakes in a suite?
Yeah.
I don't trust
Because
my op.
that's how he does things. He didn't get diabetes from nowhere, okay?
Yeah, but how?
He loved the
So,
syrup.
This is early 2000s. We're not exactly staying in 5-star hotels.
How many PowerPoints is?
He has a Bunsen burner and he makes it on like tinfoil with in the backyard.
No, I have.
Oh. I was just gonna say, you know, he could have brought one of those electric griddles. I did that in the early it was the late 2000s.
Spencer, you were saying something about PowerPoints?
I had a question about how many PowerPoints type 2 diabetes is.
Does it take PowerPoints or refund PowerPoints?
It would be refund.
Depends on the situation. If you're labeling it as diabetes with strengths, that you have to pay for it. If you're labeling it as diabetes as an inhibitor, like to your natural health, and you have to like pump insulin, then it becomes a minus. It's sort of like it's strange because it definitely sounds like you would gain a buff to your natural constitution or your natural stamina, but then your personal toughness takes a hamper because you need to constantly inject yourself with insulin or regulate your sugar intake because of your diabetes. Can imbibe anything, withstand most stuff, but then you have to deal with your own body turning against yourself.
Regardless, I will say this for Dahlia's device because it's the most story relevant one of the bunch, except for maybe the werewolf Power Rangers Morpher. Basically, once you get it on, Dahlia, you feel it kind of click and hook onto you. And once it does that, there is a sharp jolt before I'll let you describe how the regeneration effect works between you and the DM. It doesn't necessarily heal like injuries, but it will restore you to a more living state.
All right. I'm kind of imagining that it's going to be like a sort of like feeding outward as like the core of her where the sensors touch is going to have skin that is like a non-decaying color. And probably if it can reproduce faster than she dies, then it will slowly spread.
It doesn't fully heal her, but at the very least, it makes it so that she's more alive than dead.
If you can get her that far, her actual powers will take effect.
Then yeah, it would be like if you're decaying at a degree of like 3% per second, he would have gone for like 3.1% healing per second. It's not much, but it's something.
Yeah. Yeah, if you look at Perfect Dahlia's powers, that would be enough as long as you have gotten past like 50%.
I can dig it.
It would be dependent on the device staying intact, but I would say that would be a good one. Maybe have maybe that's something for Perfect Dahlia you could do where it's like either a potential weakness or something where it's like weak point. If they hit the device, it causes you to revert back to normal Dahlia.
Yeah. So have the 2 sheets. Yeah, I can work on that.
But I'll let the DM and Puddle decide how the werewolf transformer morpher or whatever goes. Because I did decently well on that one. It was the second best, I think.
It was pretty good.
Yeah, it definitively was the second best.
I will bring that up on how it activates after we discuss it more off screen next session. In the meantime, I will say that as we prepare for this next morning, as you guys get up and you're getting ready to turn on your radios for the for your father's daily addiction to morning news, seeing as how he's not able to listen to his favorite Clarefully Hidden, but is able to at least catch the current news. But instead, what pops on the local news station isn't the news per se. It's actually like a strange disco funk beat that starts popping off, something akin to like the Bee Gees or
Oh, no.
What's the Bee Gees? I need to work with more. But as you hear this
It's
funk,
ABBA. It's ABBA.
what's up?
It's ABBA.
Oh, yeah, I can work with that. But as you hear like the back music of SOS playing in there, you start seeing Tom Relic just unhinderedly dancing to it, which is strange because he is still changing out of his uh, like 3-piece sleeping wear and is in the middle of removing the top shirt and is now in full dancing and has not been able to put on his dress shirt. It also immediately affects Darren, who was initially upset at first about not being able to hear the news, starts swinging his hips and is dancing, gyrating to ABBA's lyrics, which shocks you, Dahlia. Your dad would never dare listen to ABBA. That's your ma's like territory, and there was a very real argument about when ABBA is appropriate. This is not one of them times.
Dancing Queen.
Anymore, I swear we might get.
Is
hunted.
it bad that I think I still remember every single word of that song?
No, because it's a banger, right?
Yeah.
It's one of the songs.
Okay, low key, ABBA does slap on the occasion. All right.
Anyways, so is that what we're gonna call it, DM? Because we got 4 minutes.
Almost. As in the back, as you know, ABBA starts playing, you do hear a voice pop over the song, as the rest of you are remaining coherent to it. Hope y'all are having fun. We're out here dancing in old style for the next 70 to 80 hours, maybe even years. Come on down to Disco Sasquatch, Hut of Time.
Ben's just gonna say something that's very in character for him and possibly also Darren. He's going to say, I'm not sure Sasquatch would like dancing that much. He strikes me as a stay-at-home kind of guy.
And that is where we will end session. This will be considered a chapter end or chapter break. So for the sake of moving on to the next chapter, to point 5, everyone please start figuring out how to allocate 4 PowerPoints.
Woo! What are we calling this this entry? Oh no, I guess it was boundary breakers.
Yep.
Yeah.
First session was boundary breakers. Next one we will call it boundary breakers. Point 5. Hell dive.
That's pretty good, actually.
Waiting for the Helldivers theme music to kick on.
Not today. Terran Blake.
Did Helldivers 1 come out by now?
DM, don't forget to read the
Helldivers
don't
1
forget to read
came out
the
in
hashtags
2012.
before we stop.
Right. Speaking of, last we left off was hashtag. Why are we why are we not on our way yet? Hashtag. Are we there yet? Hashtag. Heavy metal tink noises. Hashtag. Bet you can't shoot that sign from here. Hashtag. Fucking bet. Hashtag. Pow. My kidney. Hashtag. Amazumi's dropped and grand piano on Jace on his birthday. Hashtag clone number 12. Hashtag special delivery. Hashtag the JJ split soul is terminally exhausted. Hashtag stay at home Sasquatch. We thank you all for joining us here. I know this was a bit of a short session. We'll work on it. They'll say on my end. But I want to thank everyone here. We hope to see you in 2 weeks and catch y'all next time.
Bye.
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 Bye.